I will test my skills to see if I can talk and crochet at the same time. I just don't know if I love them because they feel a little dingy, I guess is the word. I've spent $737. It's a hot mess under there. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome. My name is Cris. I'm the maker behind the Enchanted Skein. And on this channel, we talk all things crochet. And I'm currently trying to get my small crochet business up and running while working a full-time job. So doing vlogs about that and other types of videos. So if that's something that you think you'll like, I would really hope that you subscribe below. I'm really hoping to build a community of like-minded folks that encourage each other and lift each other up. This week, we're starting our vlog on Tuesday. I did record yesterday. However, when I went to load my footage, I got this nasty little message that said this card was unusable. I did a little bit of troubleshooting at lunch, but I didn't have much time. So after work, I did some troubleshooting and I still was unable, unfortunately, to retrieve the footage. So the only recording that I really have available is I recorded on my phone while I was making this little toad. So I do have a little footage of that, but that's about it. I also, just to catch you up, got this toad done and I got this guy started. So I was thinking that maybe what we'll do this morning is I will test my skills to see if I can talk and crochet at the same time. And I'll work on buttoning up that toad while sharing with you what I shared yesterday that you didn't get to see. A little toasty this morning, having my coffee, so we'll lose the hoodie. Yesterday, what I went over was the stats that I mentioned in my last video. So I mentioned that I wanted to pull up kind of a snapshot of where we're at before everything launches, so we can compare month to month to see how things are going and hopefully growing. So we'll do that while I see if I can button up this toad. By the way, before we jump into that, when we were at Joann's, I went ahead and bought this big twist plush in this brown color because I can't find a brown Bernat blanket that I like, at least not locally. I haven't looked online or anything. So I thought I would give it a try. I have never used this yarn before and I don't love it. Like, it's fine. It looks good when it's done and it's a great color, but the texture I'm not a huge fan of, and I feel like throughout the skein there's thin spots. So I literally last night would go back and count my stitches because I'm like, is it too small? Is it too large? But it was fine as far as stitch count and everything. It was just the yarn was a little bit thinner in spots. So I ended up kind of cutting some of those spots out, which is really annoying to have to do. All right, I think I'm procrastinating because I'm a little nervous at trying to do this while talking. So I set up my LLC on March the 3rd. So far, as of April 6th, I've spent $737, not including any kind of materials. That breaks into $125 for the actual filing of the business. I paid $54 for my domain. I also spent, oh, I just lost my stitch. No. All right, hold on. All right. I also spent $192 on Squarespace for 1 year of web hosting. No, 1 year of website. And that's one that I probably would say I regret. That was totally unnecessary. I don't need a full-blown website yet. Etsy's where my stuff's going to be. So I didn't really need to set that up and spend that kind of money. So that's, that's a regrettable purchase, but that's okay. We're here. That's where we're at. And then I spent $366 on the spring sale on Amazon. But yeah, so far spent $737. I just lost what stitch I'm on. And my original plan was to start posting YouTube videos and social media stuff on the 17th of this month and go live with my Etsy store on May 1st. But I'm starting to kind of rethink that strategy. I feel like there's no point in waiting. I have enough inventory for the Etsy store to start. It's not like there's a required minimum or something like that I have to meet. And I have enough stuff I can stick up there. And I feel like it's probably the sooner the better that I get stuff up there. I was originally thinking like, oh, and then I can announce it on social media. But truth be told, like, trying to grow social media is going to be difficult. So it's not like I'm announcing this big thing to a bunch of people. So I figure I might go ahead and just start right then. I know I need to do the whole setup of the store and add all the listings, and I know that that's going to take some time. So I think I'm going to work on that this weekend and see how far I get. So if I get, get that together, then by the end of next week, I can just go live with everything. And I feel like that's going to give me a sense of relief also, because I'm just kind of like, I don't know, just waiting on bated breath for it. So, yeah. So the additional stats I went over was, I'm going to pause because I feel like I'm messing up my stitches. The original stats that I went over yesterday: for YouTube, I have made 3 videos. I haven't posted any of them. I don't have any followers, so nothing's live over there. Instagram, I have 12 followers, some of which are family and friends. The algorithm or whatever it is gave them this channel, or the Enchanted Skein, as a recommendation because of me and my account. So a few of those have jumped in and followed me. I didn't even tell them I was doing this, but they found the channel. Or it's not a channel on Instagram. They found the account on Instagram. I'm following 51 people. I haven't made any, I have made 6 reels. I haven't posted anything. And then I do have a TikTok, but I don't like TikTok. I have 0 followers. I'm following no one on TikTok. I think I'm just going to automatically try to see if I can push stuff to TikTok from my other account and see if that works, because I don't like being on TikTok. Maybe it's because I'm old, but so those are the stats. And originally, I think I mentioned in last week's video, my plan for this week was going to be focusing on trying to crank out inventory and recording it so that I could make a bunch of shorts. But when I looked back at those numbers, I'm actually not doing so bad. So I have 6 drafts saved as far as shorts go, or reels, sorry. And I have filmed another 5 of them. I just haven't edited them. And then I have about 4 or 5 more that are kind of in progress, where like I filmed myself crocheting the item, or I filmed some of the stuff, but I need like the final picture, or, just 1 or 2 more things to film or add to it to kind of button it up. So if I can get those cranked out, then we would essentially be ready to go, which is pretty exciting. And I know I probably could have just jumped in and got going, but I wanted to have stuff ready because I feel like the pressure of having to post every day if I don't have at least something in my backlog is going to be scary. So yeah. And then as far as inventory goes, like I said, I have enough items, I think, to go for launch. The reason I did all these toads last night and this morning is because I'm trying to see, am I faster if I crank things out back to back? This is the first time really that I've done plushies back to back of the same pattern. I've never done that before. And, makes sense. It's logical that you would be faster, and it did work out that way. So I'm pretty excited about that. I just need to figure out what I want to make next, because the things that I do want to make are larger. So I'm not going to make tons of multiples of those. Yeah, I think after this morning, after work and everything, I'm going to start on editing and trying to button up the rest of those reels, because if I can do that and kind of list out anything else that I need to take pictures of, because I have a lot of plushies that I need to take pictures of, I think we're good to go. So I think in this vlog, we will be starting to maybe set up the store and add some listings. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I need to stuff this guy. I just realized I didn't stuff him. So I won't make you listen to any more of my painful ramblings right now. I'm going to go ahead and focus on getting this guy done, start kind of looking through the footage that I have and figuring out what else I need. So I will see you after work. Hey there. So it is finally 5 p.m. Today felt like an extremely long work day. It's very rare that I have a work day that frustrates me as much as today frustrated me with the systems that I'm working on. So I'm in a bad mood. Quite frankly, I almost didn't record anything because I was like, I don't want to even pick up the camera. But I think this is the reality of some of the struggles you have when you have a full-time job, right? Or just life things that happen and stuff like that. So it has left me feeling like I don't want to work on anything I need to work on. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start crocheting the willow dragon because it's what's in the back of my mind that I just keep wanting to start on. I was cranking some inventory stuff, but again, like I said this morning, I already have enough if I have to. So, and a willow dragon won't hurt anything. So I'm going to start on that because that would bring me some joy. When I'm done with dinner, then I may take a few minutes to create my list of missing items to be able to finish those reels that I talked about this morning. If I feel up to it at that point. If I don't want to look at the computer, then I'm just going to continue crocheting the night away. So I will check in with you tomorrow morning and I will show you how far I got on the willow dragon. Hey, good morning. It is Wednesday. So last night, as you know, I was frustrated by work. I sat down and I started to work on the willow dragon. Now, I told you, I think in my last video, I had bought this skein of yarn particularly because I thought that it was going to make a good dragon. I started working on it and I'm not sure that I love it. So I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can kind of see these little dark sections. It's the way that the variegated color changes in the yarn work. I just don't know if I love them because they feel a little dingy, I guess is the word. But I'm going to keep going and I'm going to finish it because I know that with everything else added to it, the way that this pattern works up, it'll still look good as a final product. It's just not what I envisioned. So I ended up starting a second one in this teal color. And this is kind of another one that I had pictured in my mind. But I just wanted to see, you know, I don't know. I just felt like starting a second one because I was a little bummed about that one. So I'll be making 2 of these. I don't know how long it's going to take. And you can see it's pretty sizable. So this is the head and then it's going to, you know, kind of form in. But I was at the point where I needed safety eyes. So I stopped on both of those. And I thought that was something that we could kind of figure out this morning because I know I need to do a batch of safety eyes. So I'll do safety eyes for these 2 guys. I got to figure out what size I want to use on those. And then I'm going to make another, not the wisp, but the accompanying pattern that I bought, this one, in that larger size like I did the wisp. So I know I need a 24 millimeter safety eye for this guy, the larger version of this guy. So I'm going to pick those out this morning. I thought we could do that. And then I am going to probably do what I've been dreading, which is sit on the phone and edit some reels because I think I need to force myself to take the time to figure that out because it will be the more efficient route going forward to get those reels cranked out. So we're going to try that this morning too. But first, let's figure out the size of safety eyes for these guys. Oh, and I figured let me show you kind of how I'm keeping my safety eye stash. So I have 2 of these containers. This one essentially has all of my crescent shaped eyes because those are the ones that I use the most. So I just have this little, I got these off of Amazon. It's just got dividers in it. So all of the eyes that have that kind of crescent shape to them are in here. And then I have another container that has round eyes and cat eyes and other shapes like that. So for the sprite, I already know I need a 24 millimeter. And I don't know if you guys have the same thing, but I'm finding that my eyes are like sometimes 24 millimeter, sometimes 25 millimeter. I don't know if I guess it's just the manufacturer, but 24 or 25, kind of interchangeable for me, but I know I'm going to need that for him. And I think I want to do them in round. I'm trying to think of what color I'm going to make him. I think he's going to be green. I don't know if I want to do white pupils or not for him, but maybe I'll pull out white pupils and I'll pull out, I don't know if I have white in 25 millimeter now that I think about it. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't have 25s in whites. I only have 25s in glow in the dark. So we're going to hold off. We'll just do those in a black pupil for him. And let's figure out what size the dragons need. Thinking 30 or 35. I don't know exactly what row they go in, but I just want to see proportionally. That's a 30. 35 might be too big. I like a big eye, but 35 might be. That might actually not be bad. In the pattern, she uses just the plain black safety eyes with a little bit of detailing, and I think she likes her eyes fairly small, so they're smaller on the head. But hers used a size 6 chenille yarn. I'm using blanket yarn, which even though it's size 6, it works up thicker, and I'm using a 6mm hook where she used a 5mm hook. So she used 24mm safety eyes. So I can see 30 or 35 working just because of how much larger mine is working up. I'm just trying to decide if I want to keep them smaller or bigger. It looks wonky because they're two different sizes, but I don't know. I like a big eye, but I think I'm leaning towards the 30s. So we are gonna do 30s for now. So I need a pair for our pink one and a pair for our teal one. As I'm building my inventory sheet of what I've created, I put in there the size eyes that I use. So my thought going forward is if I know I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make some willow dragons, I can predetermine the colors, do the safety eyes, and then that way I'm not held up when I go to actually create them. So that's kind of the plan going forward, but I'm just trying to get myself settled as far as like knowing what size I want to use when, because I'm so picky about the sizes and the colors that I don't want to just make a bunch of different color ones and have them sit there and then end up not using them. So I like to make them specific to the critter that I'm making. So at this point, I'm just procrastinating so that I don't have to go edit on my phone, but I think that's what we need to do. So I'm going to go do that while I have my coffee, and then I will let you know how that goes. Workday is finally over. This is the day of the week that we go out to dinner as a family, so we're going to be doing that. So I probably won't have a heck of a lot of time this evening. Whatever time I do have, I'm going to crochet. I don't know what yet, but I'll crochet. This morning, you'll be proud of me. I am proud of me. I got not 1, not 2, but 3 reels fully edited. So I just need to upload those to my drafts for Instagram. And I also recorded a couple of the little end reveals of plushies that I needed for the other ones that I need to edit. I don't have everything, but I got a lot done. So I'm pretty happy with that. So this evening is dinner with the fam, and then whatever I can crochet. I'm not going to work on the dragons because the dragons need their eyes. So I'm going to have some kind of planned time where I'm going to sit down and do a bunch of eyes for those. But I'm going to start on, I'll pick another pattern and jump into that. So I will show you in the morning what I end up coming up with. Good morning. So last night was a lot more productive than I anticipated it would be. Went to dinner with the fam, came back home, and I had about an hour and change. So I ended up starting to crochet. I started working on a cat, not a loaf cat, but I think it's called a chonky cat. I'll put the pattern here somewhere. But I wanted to have a different variety of cats because I do want to do markets later. I wanted to test this pattern out because like loaf cats are everywhere. Everybody loves the loaf cat, but I wanted to have something a little different also at my booth when I do that. So I started working on that. It's really hard to visualize. It looks like a gray ghost from Pac-Man right now, but I worked on a gray one, got this to the point of where we're ready to put safety eyes in. And then I started a second one, which is this kind of mixed color cat using Bernat blanket for all of this. This is Bernat tweed, and got him to the point of where he's ready for safety eyes. And I want to do a third one of these in black. So for anyone keeping count, that would put me at needing 6 sets of safety eyes, 2 for the willow dragons, 3 for these cats, and then 1 for the sprite, which I haven't started yet, but I already know what I want to do. So I do need those eyes. So this morning we're going to paint some safety eyes. All right, So I finished doing all 6 sets of eyes, which I'm pretty stoked about because I was able to clean up and put everything away and all that good stuff. And I still have 15 minutes before work starts. So pretty pleased with that progress. I think it's because all the cat eyes were the same. I wanted them all to be a green matching. So it was, I didn't have to mix a ton of glitter. But let me show you where we're at. I'm going to show you the backs of the cat eyes because I feel like they're not as vibrant on the front. I guess they are. I can see it in the camera. I think because they're so very domed. I don't know, that the glitter just doesn't pop as much to me as it does on the other eyes, but I think they'll be great once I put them on. The Forest Sprite, I did this beautiful kind of rose gold with brown flecks in it. So I think those are going to look really great on him. And then for the dragons, I used this iridescent pink as a base. And I don't know if the subtle difference will come off on the camera, but that is the basic pink pair. And then on this other pair that's going to go in the teal dragon, I added some bluish teal iridescence. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, but it does in real life. It's just ever so slightly got a little different dimension to it. And the reason for that is I am using a pink to do the flowers. So the willow dragon has little flowers on it. And I'm going to be using that same pink on both dragons. So the one dragon has the teal base and the one dragon has that kind of variegated base, but they're both going to have the same flowers. So I wanted their eyes to be kind of matching with the color of those flowers. That was my thought anyway. So I have a few minutes left before work. I'm going to go finish my coffee because I didn't do that yet. I got distracted by these eyes. And then this evening we'll put in some safety eyes and then I can start buttoning up. I think I'm going to button up the cats real quick this evening if I can. I've got to do tails and ears and stuff like that. Get those done. And then that way I can focus on the dragons. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll circle back with you after work. Happy Friday morning. So last night I did not record. Well, actually I recorded, but I had an idea for like a safety eye assembly line reel. So I recorded that and forgot to come back in here and check in with you guys. But that's what I did. And then I worked on finishing up those 2 chonky cats. And I I have a little bit of an issue with this pattern. So I don't know yet. We'll see. But in most patterns, they don't specifically tell you exactly where the eye goes. The pattern will say like, it goes between rows 4 and 5 and it should be 6 stitches apart or so, visible, blah, blah, because you never know exactly if you're using the same yarn, same eyes, different tension, hook size. I mean, you know all this. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but this pattern was like 3 single crochet, put a stitch marker in because this is where the eye goes, 2 single crochet, etc., etc. I did that because I always follow a pattern to the T the first time I do it. If I want to make modifications afterwards, then that's fine. But I did that and I don't like where the eyes are. I mean, they're supposed to look weird anyway, but let me show you. So this is what he's looking like. I mean, he's still cute. I like the other one better. He's got kind of a angry cat look to him. But I feel like they could have gone up 1 more row. So I want to make 1 more. I wanted to have 3. So I'm going to this morning crochet a 3rd one in black. And on this one, I'm not marking where it says to put the eyes. I'm going to put the eyes where I want to put the eyes. And I'm going to see if it looks any better when it's done. I also ended up putting the safety eyes in on our dragons. So those are ready to be continued. After I finish the black cat, that'll be the next project. I'll pick one of these dragons and take it to the end. But this morning is going to be a chill crochet morning. I have a lot of time before work this morning because I got up early. So I'm going to grab my coffee, put some YouTube on and crochet. And I'm going to try to film some of what I'm crocheting for a reel. So that's the plan for this morning. Well, that was horrible. I struggled really badly with that. I don't know what it was, but every time I would end a row, I would check my count and my count was off and I would frog it and I would frog it and I would frog it. And it got to the point where I got so frustrated, I just frogged to here, cut it off, and said, I'm starting over. It took a minute, took a few sips of coffee. Thank goodness I had a ton of time this morning because otherwise this guy would not be nearly as complete as he is. He's not finished yet. I did put the eyes where I wanted the eyes and I like it much better, but I'll let you compare and you tell me. So here's where we got with him. He needs ears and a face and a tail. But if you look, I put the eyes one row up. I think I'll really be able to tell for sure if I like it better or not when the ears are on. But when I was looking at it, I think I like them up slightly higher. So we'll see. I don't know. This evening, I'm going to put his ears on and his tail on and his face on. And that'll really be like, you know, whether I follow that pattern, putting them where it says to put them in the future or putting them where I want to put them. This is getting frogged right now and will become part of my little scraps bag. I keep all of my scraps in a bag and this goes with my stuffing. So whenever I'm stuffing something that is a more solid stuff, like a head of something, I jam that in the middle so that it doesn't go to waste. I have about 5 minutes left before I gotta start work. I think it's going to be a day that goes by really quickly because I have a lot to do in a short period of time, or it feels like a short period of time because of all the meetings. And I'll check back in with you after work and the weekends start. Hey there. So it is a while after work, actually. Right after work, hubby and I decided to go pick up a pizza. So we went and did that and had some dinner. So now I am going to sit down and work on finishing up that little black chonky cat. And there's something I'm thinking I might want to try this evening. I'm not sure yet, or I'll jump into trying to finish one of the willow dragons, but I'll have a nice evening of crochet, and then I will see you guys tomorrow for some Saturday activities. Good morning and happy Saturday. So last night I finished up the cat, my chonky cat, and let me grab the other one. Here's the difference in the eyes. And I get why they were setting these a little lower. It does make it look a little derpier, but I don't know. I like mine better. I like them higher up a little better. So if I make that pattern again, if they sell well, then I'm going to move them and put them where I want them. Last night, I also did a little bit more on the dragon. So that is in progress. I feel a little tired this morning, but also excited to get a bunch of stuff done. So there's a few things that I want to accomplish today. First things first, I'm going to clean out kind of my storage under my desk. I'm not going to film that because it's a hot mess under there, and I feel like this video is probably going to be long enough as it is, and you don't need to see a fast motion of me cleaning that out. If that's the kind of thing you want me to include in real time or fast motion in the future, let me know in the comments and I will do that. But I'm going to work on that, and then I'm going to do a plushie photo shoot, and I'm going to set that up in here. I'm going to film myself setting that up, both to show you guys as well as to film a reel and take photos of all the other plushies that I've made since I did the last photo shoot, because next week I am going to put everything up and create all of the listings on Etsy. Found out yesterday that I'm going to have next Friday off, so I'm going to dedicate that whole day to Enchanted Skein, and we're going to just do all the things that I need to get done so that we can launch the shop. I don't think I've explained it before, but I work for a consulting company, and so we have clients that we do work for, and it so happens that my client is closed next Friday, so I have the option of taking the day off if I would like to do that, and I decided to go ahead and do that. So that is how I ended up with the day off, which I'm really excited for because, again, I can just focus all day on Enchanted Skein stuff. So really excited for that. I'm going to get started on my cabinet clean out, and I will check back in with you when it's time for plushie photo shoots. So this is what I'm talking about. I have these giant cabinets that are storage. So I want to put all of my packing goods and things in this one. So I'm going to take everything out of it. I've got some bins to put back in and kind of get organized. So that's first priority this morning. Okay, I just finished the plushie photo shoot. It's now 4:45. I ended up taking a crochet break after I finished the cabinet clean out and got the whole body of the willow dragon done. well, not the whole body, meaning the body shape. I need to do his 4 legs and then the wings and the horns and the root and the ground and the tree and the hole and all that. So I will do that or work on that this evening. I don't know that I'm going to finish him this weekend. I was kind of hoping to, because I want to do those what I crocheted this week videos for Instagram. And I only have a few things. Most people that do those have, buckets of stuff, but I work a full-time job. That's the reality of it. So, but I want to do one of those tomorrow. And if he's done, then I will pop a picture up at the end of this video. If he's not done, then you know that you'll see him next week. But so that is the plan for this evening. I'll work on that guy, hang with the fam. And yeah, I think I'm going to end the vlog here for this week. Thank you so, so much for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw, please subscribe below. That would really, really help me and the channel out. And I will see you next week. Bye.